posture and your movement, okay? Every movement has a purpose, whether it means reaching out, grabbing your cup of coffee, whether it means lunging down to tie your shoe to descend, balance yourself so you don't fall, and then as you stand up, okay? And as the activities and movements get a little more challenging, you get to see the quality, you know, or lack thereof, like in a squat, you know, somebody squat when they come down, their knees buckle, or getting out of a chair, getting into a chair, carrying your groceries upstairs. All those things become so challenging for some people and less challenging for others. The purpose of movement is not to resist force in one direction, an unchanging force. The purpose of movement is to continually adapt and resist forces that are changing in their direction of motion. Basically meaning, as I'm standing right now, I'm fighting gravity for me to collapse, right? As I walk forward and pick up my leg, I'm balancing one foot until the other reaches the ground. And at that point, I'm resisting gravity, I'm resisting myself, I'm bending side to side, right? If I were to jump over this pool of water here, I resisted what? My gravity falling, my lateral bend, and the motion I use, that force I generated, that propelled me forward to not allow me to fall forward, right? So there are three planes of movement, three planes of motion. Okay, a little vocabulary lesson today. Sagittal plane, frontal plane, transverse. Sagittal plane, bending forward, bending back, flexing, walking forward, walking back, right? Transverse, turning, basketball, right? Turning, volleyball, wrist, driving, all that stuff. Frontal plane, side to side, bending, 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 right? All those require different keys, different components of stabilization, right? But as humans, the first plane of movement that we learn to stabilize in is the sagittal plane. It's forward and bending position. We learn that as babies. Okay, we lay on our back, put our feet up, and we lay there, hold that position all day. Stabilization in the sagittal plane is pivotal to be able to stabilize and resist forces in directions that pull us in different directions. Meaning when we walk, when we tilt, when we squat, we don't collapse. All of these things, right? So we first need to train one plane of movement, which is the majority in the sagittal plane. Okay? Number two, basically, today we want to engage your brain, I guess, and be more aware of where your body is by training the core. The more in tune you are with your body, the better the quality of your movement, right? The better the quality of your movement, the less risk of injury. The more you give time, the more time you give to your brain throughout a movement. So if I squat very slowly, I know my joint position, I'm getting information from my ligaments, my muscle, my tendons, that whole complex to know where my body is in space, whether I'm leaning too far forward, I'm bending too far back, too much weight on my heels, or vice versa, right? So as you do these movements today, focus on moving slower, engaging your core, because what's going to improve the quality of your movement is to turn on your core, be more in tune with your core. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to train the core 360 degrees, so we're able to stabilize first majority in the sagittal plane, at the same time resist transverse and frontal forces, okay? We're going to engage the glutes, engage the shoulder girdle, we're going to kick your butt today. Sound fun? Okay, it's about 37 minutes of a workout. Pretty short, pretty brief. The movements are pretty simple, but they're pretty tough, okay? You guys ready to get started? First position, this is Joe's favorite because it's easy, he gets to lay on his back, right? So all we're doing, it's called a dead bug. We're here, legs right there, arms up, it looks just like a dead bug, a dead cockroach, right? What you're going to do is you're going to squeeze the ball while relaxing the head. I don't want to see anybody doing this. And the key thing is to maintain breathing. So I'm squeezing, and I'm just breathing. Imagine you have a birthday cake, and you have candles on that birthday cake. You're blowing out the candles with each exhalation. So you're, and each time you're going to feel your core, your abdominals contract with each exhalation, okay? So that's the first exercise. Can you take that back? The second one, we're going to stir the pot. Okay, we're going to cook. We're going to be in the kitchen. So we're here. Big circles one way. Big circles the other way. We're going to be square. We're not going to see our hips drop. We're not going to see our shoulders divot. We're going to be nice and neutral in that position, okay? Number two, we're going to do a dynamic push-up. So we're going to be here. Now we're going to work on the transverse and sagittal planes, right? We're going to do a push-up, come up, touch the same side shoulder, back down, push-up, opposite shoulder, back down. You can be on your knees, ankles up. I forgot there's two rules actually when you do a push-up. I want you to imagine a meter stick touching the back of your butt, the middle of your back, and the back of your head. And then I want you to imagine a tennis ball between your shoulder blades and on your butt. The tennis balls never fall off your back and your butt, and the meter stick is always touching your back and your head and your butt, okay? So that positions you in a neutral spine. You're up, touch, down, up, touch, down, okay? So this is the first station, station 1, okay? Station 2, we're gonna use the landmine. We're going to use a resistance band that you like. It's going to be a single arm squat and press. You're going to step down, you're going to squat down, nice and low, explode up, back down, low, explode up. I don't want to see this, so keep this, the shoulders are square, nothing tilting, so we're nice and neutral, squat down, explode up. You can use more bands for resistance if you like. Next one, what we're going to do, we're going to do a dead bird. Sorry, bird dog. So we're here, hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. You're going to extend out and hold it until she says switch. There's that 10 seconds left. Then you're going to switch and hold it to the opposite side. Come back, hold. I don't want to see this. I want to see this. So your hips are nice and neutral. Shoulders are nice and square. Okay? Next one. It's called a bear exercise. So we're going to squat down, hands forward, fall. Great. Same thing. Now what we're going to do, pick up, 3 seconds, hold. 3 seconds, down. 3 seconds, down. Just do that all the way through the 20 seconds, okay? Keep like focus on not letting your hips sag. And if this is too tough, just pick up one leg. If that's too tough, just pick up one hand. And if you're pretty good, pick up the opposite arm, opposite hand, okay? Next one, we're going to do some medicine ball over here. So what we're going to do now, we're going to use your core this entire time, focus on your core, okay? Arm straight up, right? It's not forward, straight overhead, right? This ensures that your shoulder girdle is nice and locked, not using your deltoids. This is stronger than your deltoids. So we're here, our right leg is going to stay forward if our right arm is up. So straight back, and up, straight back, nice and slow on the way down, slow it up. Nice and slow on the way down, slow it up, okay? Next step, next one, the 90-90 exercise. This is a 3.5-month-old position for a baby. All they do, what you're going to do is put your legs up in the air, make sure your back is nice and flat, 90 degrees here, 90 degrees here, 90 degrees here. What we're going to do now, press with our hands, make sure our ribs anchor down. I shouldn't see any rib flaring. I should not be able to put my hand underneath your low of your back. You're right here. Again, imagine that birthday cake with candles. And you're pressing as firm as you can right here. Exercise number 3. How many people do we have there? 11. Okay, we'll figure it out. Transitional lunge. Okay, we're right here. We start right here. You're going to come up 1 inch off the ground, hold it for 5 seconds. Come up 2 inches off the ground, hold it for 5 seconds. Come up 3 inches, hold it for 5 seconds. Up 4 inches, 5 seconds. At that time, it should be time to switch. Opposite leg, the next round. Going down. Same thing, same thing, same thing. And then opposite coming up. Make sense? Okay. And then 1 leg bent. You're coming up. Give yourself a double chin before you come up so you're here, rolling up. And same thing, imagine that candle, that birthday cake, just blowing out as hard as you can. Next one, going to roll on our side, come straight up. Now what this is going to do, you're going to put your feet slightly ahead of you, shoulders slightly ahead of you. So when you come up, you engage your glutes as well. You're up and forward. Remember that meter stick rule? Back of my head, the middle of my back, and the back of my butt. That's all in line. I'm not doing one of these. I'm not sagging down. I'm up. I'm actually going to press down as hard as I can with my top hand and resist, and I'm going to exhale as well. All for 20 seconds, okay? I mean, it's a short time, but trust me, it's a killer workout, all right? So that'll be the 4th station. That'll have 2 exercises only since it'll be a group of that, okay? We don't need any equipment for this last one. Sound good? All right, let's get started.